Welcome back, Troglodytes, to your daily dose of guitar information, the Trogly's Guitar Show. You know, if you're relatively new to the channel, like you haven't been here for the past year and a half, you probably don't even remember this. But all the way back in March of 2019, I did a little custom build with a small channel called Scar My Guitar. They asked me to design a guitar and they would build it for me. Here's what I told them.
How about we take an SG and a Les Paul, we slice them in half, put them together, throw a vintage Epiphone Batwing headstock on it, and the only other specification I gave them was a single dog ear P90 and a Sanwa kill switch.
So after numerous delays, it finally showed up today, the day after Christmas. So let's go ahead and see how they did. They still do plan to do that giveaway over on their channel, so if you want to check them out, you can. They're just asking that you subscribe and like and comment on their newest video, and that's when they will be doing the giveaway of theirs. So if you have any questions about the giveaway, just contact them because I'm not necessarily affiliated with it in any way. So let's go ahead and unbox this thing and see how a scarred guitar is. It's my first one, probably yours as well. So first things first here, we get our little note. And it kind of tells me about the specs of the guitar. Oh, wow. That's pretty cool, because I did not tell them, you know, too much about what to do on this. All I really told them was about the general shape and what type of pickups and stuff to put in here. Not exactly what pickups, just what style. So it appears what he's done here is we got some sort of a slanted bridge P90, and then he did go ahead and get that kill switch in there. Now he told me not to be too hard on the finish because if you wonder where the scarred guitar thing comes from, it's because he says he's never been that good at doing the finish on the guitars. So all of his guitars have been scarred. I was kind of scared that it wasn't going to really be like highly polished, because it kind of looks like a matte finish when he was sending me photos, but this does have a little bit of a gloss to it. I mean, sure, there's little dimples, orange peeling and all that stuff, but he just likes to build these things kind of as for fun. It's not his main business or anything. And I like the little laser engraved Trogly. I think that looked pretty good. If I was going to change anything, maybe I would make it bigger. As far as the specs go, it looks like we get a maple top, and he kind of gave it like that neck-through body construction look. So he does this flame maple with some mahogany, and he just kind of sandwiches the body to make it kind of look like what a Firebird looks like. Then it looks like he might glue it in place and then add these dowels just for extra strength. So it kind of looks like a bolt-on neck, but kind of reminds me of one of those like ESP Viper things. So thank you to Sean over at Scar My Guitar. Again, you can check out his videos on his own channel. I'll leave a link in the description. But let's go ahead and throw this one on the workbench real quick just to see what parts he put in here and get some measurements on.
I think over on their channel, their followers were calling this the Les G or something like that. But here's an up-close look at this. There you can see like the orange peeliness of the finish. But it appears we have a two-piece top on here. And I kind of like the way that he's exposed the maple cap, especially down here. Kind of gives it that faux binding look without actually having to bind this. Because I don't know if the binding would actually look too nice. But since we kind of have like the natural curve over here, that's looking pretty cool. I think I was initially envisioning this like a wrap tail or something like that, but he decided to go for the string through design. That's actually really cool with these big old brass saddles. That would be great for sustain. But inside our pickup cavity here, so he says this is flame maple, which are these stripes right here, and then mahogany, which I'm guessing is this, and that. But the other ones are purple heart, that's pretty easy to see right there, and the other one is black limba, also known as Carina. Gibson actually did make black limba M3s. Those things are pretty cool. So all that sandwiched together makes for one strong bond right there. And you can just barely make out that it says Scarred Guitars, made in USA. Maybe he needs to invest in like a branding stamp. That'd be pretty cool instead of just ink stamped. As far as the pickup, it just seems to be kind of like a generic dog-eared P90 here. He says it's an Alnico 5. It's just installed using those springs. But it sounded pretty darn good in his playing demo. I've never actually seen P90s mounted quite so deeply. Because then sometimes dog-ear P90s, when they sit on top like this, some people don't like it. It gets in the way of their hands. So with this little invention, you can actually kind of sink it down so it kind of acts like a soap bar P90. You can kind of see what I'm talking about right there. It kind of sits right underneath there. That's interesting. As far as our controls, again, it is a black kill switch, and it looks like just a straight up master volume on this one. No tone or anything like that. I believe I might have spec'd it out that way. But we get an abalone circle in the knob. That's pretty nice. Output jack on the front. And just in case you missed it, it does kind of come down to a carve right here. I wasn't really thinking about top carves or anything, but, you know, naturally the Les Paul side should have some sort of a belly, and it kind of just like bevels out on the SG side. So here's where things get interesting. We got a 2-octave neck, 24 frets, flame maple neck with glow-in-the-dark inlays with stainless steel frets. So these things should theoretically last just about forever. And it looks like it captures the 24 3/4 inch scale length. As far as the neck specs itself, it looks like 1.66 inches at the nut. That's about what I would normally see on a guitar. Around, yeah, 2.04, so that's right. Now, he said I could shave the neck down to my personal preferences, so he purposefully left it big, but let's be honest, I'll never do that. So 0.99 at the first fret, that's chunky. And 0.104, you know, that's not that different between like really chunky necked R7 or anything. So it's not ridiculously big, but it's definitely a full rounded C neck shape. And it looks like we got the glow in the dark side marker inlays too. This is that Graphtec nut as we were talking about in the locking ratio tuners. And it looks like we get some sort of a Allen key adjustment for our truss rod on this one. And once again, the Trogly branding. So as far as our neck here, it looks like mahogany maple and one slice of black limba. And moving on to the back here. Check this out. We get a flame maple backplate. That's a nice little touch. And here's what the backside of this looks like. Just kind of a generic pot right there with our kill switch. And there's our output jack. Very clean routes. I really like the wood grain on this mahogany. And it's pretty much the right thickness. It kind of reminds me of like some vintage slab SGs, like one of the late 60s Melody Makers. So it's kind of got that going for it. And he was telling me that he accidentally forgot to drill this one for strap buttons. There we go. Now we've got some black Schaller strap locks. I decided to try it on the top horn because I feel like this might be just a hair neck heavy. So hopefully that'll help with that. But the figuring is really nice within the flame maple on the back here. And he's calling this his own signature set neck that's also doweled for extra strength. So the body has a little bit of like a semi-gloss finish on here, but the neck itself is kind of like that pure satin feel yet. It's got kind of a V-shaped heel right there, and he kind of carved it away just a little bit right here to kind of help with upper fret access. And we even get one of those like pseudo volutes back here just based on the construction of this thing. You know, for something that's just hand-built on the side in this guy's garage, I would say it's pretty good. All said and done, this one weighs 7 pounds, 1.5 ounces. Let's go ahead, plug it in, and hear how this thing sounds. Alright, so what are my final thoughts on this thing? It's quite a pretty little guitar. I mean, look at that. It looks great on camera. Now, I mean, when you get close up, that's when you can see, you know, not 100% perfect finish, but as far as playability goes, yeah, it's quite comfortable. Some people might prefer a skinnier neck than this, but that can always be adjusted. Now, he sent me this guitar for my own personal critiques, so I'm not, you know, just being a jerk saying, hey, you need to fix this, this, and this. This is just something I think would make his guitars better. I noticed the fret edges. These are nice and rolled off. However, it's mainly just like the very edge of it. Like if I run my finger like this, I can still feel them. So I think just a little bit of extra rounding on those edges would make an even more comfortable guitar to play. I kind of noticed that on the nut up here. It's a little bit sharp at that corner. As far as the tuners, these things are fantastic. I think if you're making guitars for people, I mean, these ratio locking tuners, I really enjoyed them. If anything, I would say they're too high of a ratio. It feels like you're turning forever just to get down to drop D, but that's actually a good thing. The strap button location on the horn was definitely the right move. It's a very well-balanced guitar as far as that goes. As far as the kill switch you put in here, unfortunately, this isn't exactly what I was going for. Like, this is just like a standard kill switch like on like a machine or something. Like, you need to turn that off now. It kind of kills the signal. I mean, you can still kind of hear it. What tends to work better on guitars are like the arcade style switches. That way you can get the stutter effect. And this is just kind of a matter of personal preference. I think the output jack would do better on the side location. It looks like there's enough wood here that you could get away with it. And I felt while I was playing this that maybe the controls could actually just be a hair closer to the user. Like, not so much that it's like in your way as far as picking and whatnot, but I feel like it could just a hair be moved up here. But for this P90 not necessarily being a crazily expensive pickup, I thought it sounded pretty good. The only downside I found to it is microphonic when you have like a whole bunch of gain. I mean, listen to this. But if you turn your volume down to about 6.5, it tames that down a bit. It's awesome. Thanks, Sean from Scar My Guitar. Make sure you go check out his channel if you're interested in potentially winning one of these. You can follow all the rules and details over on his side of things. Thank you, Troglodytes, for tuning in to check out my custom-made guitar for myself. I hope you enjoyed, and we will see you tomorrow on the next episode. Take care.